Hi there, I'm Nikki from the Physical Activity Specialist team. We've already shown you a video of how to get up and down off the floor in case you have a fall at home. And we're going to now put together a series of exercises to show you how to strengthen yourself and to get enough mobility to be able to perform that procedure should you have a fall. I'm going to be using a good sturdy chair today. Ideally this would be leant against the wall, so it's a good idea to have a solid wall behind you while you're practicing these exercises. Today I've got it sideways on just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take you through some exercises that will improve your hip mobility, strengthen your legs front and back, and then to give your lower body a rest, we're going to do some wrist and shoulder mobility and strength exercises. Make sure you're in a well-lit room with some ventilation, you've got a clear floor, and if you can have a telephone near you, that's going to be ideal as well, or let somebody know that you are doing some exercises at home. So we're going to start off with the chair exercises. So I'm going to turn sideways on and go into the seated position. So I'm going to make sure I can feel the chair on the back of my legs. So I know where the chair is and I know I'm safe to take a seated position. So from here I'm just going to bring my arms forward, push my bottom back and sit gently down onto the chair. The next bit we're going to do is the hip mobility. So I'll just demonstrate what this is. So it's just to roll your bottom or your hips to the front edge of the chair, and I'm going to roll it back again. So just roll back. Okay, so that's quite a simple movement, but it's really worth practicing this. You can do it a few times and really over-exaggerate the movement as you're doing it so you get some mobility through the hips and the waist as well. Now there's a reason we demonstrate this particularly, because if you were to get into a position on the floor, and particularly if you've got knee replacements and you can't get yourself into a kneeling position, it may be that when you're on the floor, you can get into this position and walk yourself to somewhere safe. You might have a telephone or something you can bang against a wall or a radiator just to let somebody know you need some help. So this is a really good one to practice. So for those of you that can't do the complete sequence of getting up from the floor, if you can at least get to a seated position and you can walk on your bottom. So just keep practicing this one. You can do it while you're watching television. Just keep that movement going. Get yourself into the habit of every time you get in and out of the chair to hip roll yourself backwards and forwards. Okay? So that's your hip roll. So we're actually going to now use the hip roll to bring me to the front of the chair to go into the standing position. So I hip roll forward, feet are planted but back slightly. And I'm going to use I call this a Superman position. Some of you might want to use this, some of you might want to put your hands on your thighs or possibly on the arms of the chair if you've got arms. I like this method because it catapults me up and out of the seat. So arms come forward, bottom comes up, push through the heels into that standing position. And you can repeat your sit to stand as many times as you like. Step back to feel the chair, Superman, push your bottom back and come into a nice gentle seated position. Hip roll forward, plant those feet, Superman up and push. So if at the moment you'd find that difficult, that you feel that you wouldn't be able to get all the way up from the chair, I'm going to show you a couple of exercises you can do that are slightly less of a movement, just so you can just start to get the feel of what it feels like to push up through the heels and use these muscles. So the first way to do that is to find yourself a nice clear wall. Walk your feet forward. You have to be a little bit brave to do that. Shoulders and bottom stay in contact with the floor. If you want, put your hands on the wall just so you feel a little bit more secure. And from here I'm going to do a very small knee bend and push back up. Now just remember, when you're doing this, don't go down too low because you've got to get back up again. So just go down as far as you feel comfortable. So just drag yourself down the wall and push back up. As you get stronger and you feel more confident, you could probably take it down a little bit lower. Your knees will let you know when you've gone down far enough. And then if you want to really sort of make it a bit more challenging, arms come up. And again, if you've got some water bottles and you just want to add a little bit of strength there, that's absolutely fine as well. So another way to strengthen the legs and the bottom, in addition to doing the squat sliding up and down the wall, is to do it coming away from the wall. Now it's absolutely fine to have some support here if you need it. So if I wanted to, I could turn the chair around and hold onto the chair. Or you can do this one holding onto a kitchen worktop in front of you. So I'll demonstrate it sideways on. I'll do the front view first. So if you was holding onto something, you'd hang on to it here. So what we're going to do is just to, a bit like the sit to stand, we're just going to push the bottom back, bring the arms up. And again, only go down as far as you feel comfortable. So that's the side view. And I'm just going to turn to do the side view so you can see how similar it is to the sit to stand, getting in and out of the chair. So arms forward, push the bottom back, come into standing. Arms forward, push back, come into standing. And well done. So you might find that if the using the wall is easier at first, that you can maybe progress on to doing it without any support at all. And most of these exercises that we're demonstrating, we normally recommend you do about 10 of each. And do them at your own pace. If you want to stop in between, that's absolutely fine. Around about 10 of each, and then if you want to build it up a little bit more, maybe into 2 lots of 10 or maybe 1 lot of 15. It's up to you. The more you do, the better, the stronger you are. Okay, so we're going to give those legs a rest now, and we're going to move on to some arm strength. You may remember from our video we showed you of people getting up from the floor, there's quite a lot of arm strength involved. We have to push ourselves up from the floor, normally in the sideline position. So we've got to be able to push. And when we actually get from the floor onto the chair, there's a big push with the arms. And the muscles that are really involved in that sequence are the back of the arm and the shoulder and some of the chest. So making sure we work those upper muscles as well as the legs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn sideways on and demonstrate an exercise that will strengthen the upper back of your arm. So you can again do this on a support, so if you was leaning on a kitchen worktop, that'd be absolutely fine. I'm going to do it unsupported. Just going to take one leg in front of the other and using my hand, just going to rest it on my thigh, or it will be on a kitchen worktop. So that arm's just passive, it's just holding me in position. The front arm, the arm you can see, is the one that's doing all the work. So just imagine you've got this hand on your pocket. The elbow stays where it is, and we extend the arm out behind. And bring your hand back to your pocket. Extend back, and back to the pocket. So just hold it there. So just notice from my shoulder to my elbow doesn't move at all, and just the hand comes away and comes back. If you then want to add your bottle of water for a little bit more resistance, you can do so. I'm just going to turn around and do the other side. One leg in front of the other. Normally the leg that goes out in front is on the other side of your body to the arm that's doing the work. Start with your pocket, bend the elbow, extend back, come back to your pocket, extend back, back to the pocket. Elbow and shoulder stays absolutely still. And again, when you're ready, just add that water bottle. A little bit of extra strength. Also, if any of you have stretchy bands or dyno bands that the physios sometimes use, you can just grab one of those and just add a little bit of resistance. Okay, good. Well done. Always keep your legs moving in between these exercises just to get the blood back up to your head and your heart so you don't go dizzy. So I'm going to demonstrate now some wrist strength. So we're going to do wrist strength and mobility. So we'll start off with wrist mobility before we go into the strength. So you can do this seated or standing. I'm going to do it standing. So just hands down by your side, and we're just going to circle the wrists. So again, nothing else moving, the arm isn't moving, it's just the wrists. Nice big circles, one way and then the other. Like you're stirring the porridge. Okay, lovely. And again, you can do these exercises anytime throughout the day. Just keep that mobility going in the wrists. So, give them a little shake. The next one we're going to do is, any of you that do Tai Chi, you may have seen this exercise done in Tai Chi. It's nice and gentle. You just raise one arm and keep the wrist really floppy, really floppy. Just bring it up to about shoulder height and then bring the hand down. Floppy wrist, bring it up. And as if you're dragging your fingers down the wall, nice and gently. One more. So this is a little bit of shoulder mobility and a little bit of wrist mobility. So if we go again, floppy wrist and lift. And bring it gently down. And lift. And gently down. And one more, lift, and gently down. And then you can, if you want to get clever, do alternate arms, nice and gently. Or you can do them both together. And really exaggerate that wrist movement. So drop the hands down, lead with the wrists. And show your palms as you come down. Well done, good. Give that little shake. So we're going to do the wrist strength now. And I'm just going to use, I've just got a bag hanging next to me. So, doesn't matter what you use, it could be absolutely anything. If you've got a small towel or a tea towel, a t-shirt, if you've got a stretchy band, you can use that. And just literally all we're going to do is using your fingers, get your fingers moving, is to roll that up. Now look at the wrist movement. Lots of movement going on in the wrist here. So that's your wrist mobility. And once we've rolled that right up, the wrist strength comes in because we're going to wring it out. Wring it out nice and tightly. And release. And then you can go the other way, wring it out as tight as you can. And relax. I'm going to do one more each side. Squeeze. And release. And last one. Squeeze. And release. Well done. So again, it's something very simple. You can do this while you're sitting at home watching the television. If you've got particularly weak wrists, you know, just give them a little rub afterwards just to thank them for doing that work. So our last exercise in this sequence is going to be to strengthen the shoulders, the back of the upper arm and the chest. And these are the muscles that we would use to push ourselves up off of the floor. So when we're putting our hands on that chair and pushing ourselves up, or when we're going from that side lying position, these are the muscles that are really important to make that movement. So I'm going to use a wall and myself. So I'm going to turn and face the wall and just demonstrate this exercise. It's called a wall press. So make sure you've got a good sturdy wall. And you're going to stand with your feet round about shoulder width or hip width apart, just so you've got a nice sturdy base. And place your hands at shoulder height on the wall. I'm just going to step back a little bit, keep my tummy in. So keep your back, your torso nice and solid, like a plank of wood. So you're not bending at your waist, leaning back or leaning forward. Just keep your body nice and solid and just work from the arms. Don't need to use a wall. If you've got a good solid kitchen worktop, you can pop your hands on the edge of the worktop and push yourself up and down from there. Or another way to practice this is if you've got arms on a chair, is to just push yourself up and down. You're not using quite the same muscles, but it gives you that nice pushing up from the floor movement that we're going to need to practice. So I'm just going to demonstrate that. I'm going to do another 3, but this time I'm going to move my feet out a little bit further to make it a little bit more difficult. So I'm stepping back. And just remember, if you want to make it easier, you can just stand a little bit closer. Another variation of this, I'll just show you quickly, is to do a split stance. So again, when we're doing that movement of getting up from the floor, we need to use this split stance. So using the split stance in this exercise actually makes it easier on the arms because the legs do some work. So one leg in front of the other, bend the front knee, and we just travel towards the wall. And then obviously repeat that on the other leg. So we've covered some exercises today to show you how to hip roll forward and back on the chair. We did a sit to stand. We've done some wrist, shoulder and arm strength exercises, and we've explained to you how to keep safe while you're doing it. There are probably another 20 exercises that we could add to this, but we're going to do those over a period of time. So keep your eye out for other videos that we're doing that are going to maybe work a little bit more on leg strength and some balance work as well. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.